Good afternoon, all of you. It's really a great pleasure for me to be here on this virtual platform, the conference on radiation healthcare, organized on the occasion of International Medical Physics Week. I'm really thankful to Dr. Chogle and his team, Dr. Mary Joan, who has given me an opportunity to interact with you all. Dr. Chogle asked me to deliver a talk on such a wonderful topic, or I should say a topic which is close to my heart, that is responsibilities of health professional in nuclear medicine. And being a regulator, it's my mere duty to inform what are the responsibilities, what are the roles they are supposed to play in this field. Before going further ahead, when we talk about the health professional in nuclear medicine, the three important things or three important subjects which comes to our mind is a physician, a technologist, and a radiological safety officer. You may be surprised to see that I am showing only two portraits over here. One is a physician, which is called nuclear medicine physician, and other is a nuclear medicine physicist or technologist. Because either of them, when they have successfully completed the certification course by BARC, nominated by the employer and approved by AERB, they are called RSOs. So merely there are three different health professional, and you may be aware of the terminology radiation professional in AERB as far as LORA is concerned, that is e-licensing of radiation application. They have to be registered as radiation professional. Before going further ahead, it is my duty to inform you that as and when they are being recruited in a nuclear medicine facility, they are supposed to comply with certain requirement as far as the qualification is concerned, which is given in our AERB safety code published in 2011. So when we talk about nuclear medicine physician and physician, they should have a minimum qualification, like a technologist should have a bachelor degree in nuclear medicine and or a bachelor degree from a university and a postgraduate degree diploma in nuclear medicine technology from a university. But as far as nuclear medicine physicians are concerned, they should have a minimum degree of MBBS and a postgraduate degree or diploma in nuclear medicine, which is recognized by Medical Council of India or National Board of Education, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Now, responsible to nuclear medicine physician, when we talk, they should have the responsibility of dosage administration by proper choice of radiopharmaceutical in order to minimize absorbed dose to the patient, because they play a very key and important role as far as the administration of radiopharmaceuticals are concerned. They need to maintain the records where all the details are to be provided about the patient, about the gender, about the age, medical history, what pharmaceutical, and they have to sign and keep the records with them. In order to prevent any possibility of misadministration, their duty is to promptly report to the competent authority through the licensee of the institution. But I would like to say over here, in most of the cases, the licensee is nuclear medicine physician itself. So they have to report through employer too. They should see the justification of any diagnosis of therapy as far as pregnant women or lactating mother is concerned, in order to limit the exposure to the fetus, infant, so that a dose absorbed by them should not be more than 1 milligram. They have to consider appropriate measure for dose fractionation in order to minimize non-stochastic effect following radionuclide therapy. They should adopt specific dosimetric consideration in pediatric patient, because in case of pediatric the protocol followed is entirely different than what is to be followed as far as adult is concerned. and they have to see the risk benefit ratio, that if the benefit is more by giving the radiopharmaceutical, then only they should go ahead for this particular examination. Before start of the examination, that is their mere duty to inform the patient on safety measures to be observed to avoid radiation exposure to the family members and others as and when they go back to their home, even after diagnosis or after therapy. At some point of time, it has been seen that patient needs hospitalization and they are kept in isolation ward when the administered activity is more than the prescribed limit. Before that, they have to take an informed consent, which is being generally done whenever the scans or therapy is done, and they have to inform the relatives of the patient prior to the administration that what are the precautions and why they are going to be kept in isolation ward. And once the therapy is given to a pregnant woman, if required, then they have to see to it that the dose to the conceptors shall not exceed 1 milligram. Before I touch upon the roles and responsibility of a physicist or a technologist, I have gone through some literature. It is British Society of Nuclear Medicine or Society of Nuclear Medicine India, or you can say about roles and responsibility which is being given in Australasian College of Physics, Scientists, Engineers in Medicine. That what is the difference, why they are called nuclear medicine physicists, in our country is also called medical physicists and some part at nuclear medicine technologists. Is there any difference in the roles and responsibilities, or it is only a designation? If you see the Society of Nuclear Medicine, they talk about the career. So before going or discussing about the roles, I would like to inform that a scientist, whether it's a physicist or chemist, they have always played a very important role. If you see in 1895, when X-rays were discovered by William Röntgen, he was a German physicist. Radioactivity, which has been discovered by Becquerel, he was a French physicist. In 1898, polonium, radium or thorium has come. Again, he is a French physicist, Madame Curie. Then if you see tracer principle or a counter, Giesecke-Muller counter by German physicist. Then important medical cyclotron, which is being utilized every part of the world for the production of radioisotopes and then pharmaceuticals to be used in PET. Then 1934, he is again Italian physicist Fermi, who first discovered iodine-128. First therapy was given by P32 by Lawrence, he is an American physicist. Then therapy of benign thyroid diseases, again by Saul Hertz Evans, he is again a physicist. What I am planning to say, or my objective is to say that physicists have played a very, very important role as far as nuclear medicine is concerned. Then retinal scanner, that was the first device which is used for imaging purpose, where a daughter has to move on a paper and put the plot and put the dots, and you can say image when there was no, a gamma camera was not there. He was American physicist Sazin. Then radioimmunoassay, a team was there which I am going to show the pictures of them. Technetium generator, again Paul Harper. SPECT, single photon emission computer tomography imaging device, David Cole. And PET by Michael Terpgerson and Michael Fell. So they are all physicists, or somewhere physicians are there where they played a role to make a nuclear medicine at this stage. If you see this, Lawrence, Fermi, House, William Röntgen, Anger, Ronald Nutt, David Townsend, Paul Harper, Glenn Seberg, Anthony Becquerel, David Cole, Rosalind S. Yellow Solomon Burst and the team for radioimmunoassay, Michael Falk for PET, and Benedict Garrison for gamma camera SPECT. These are all physicists, scientists I should say. Because of them, today nuclear medicine has come up to this stage. Now when we talk about the objective of PP, what is PP over here? When we talk about PP is a physician and physicist. To diagnose early and to treat, if possible, were the mutual aims of both physician and physicist. To underline, the contribution of scientists and physicists to the development of nuclear medicine has been not just major but disruptive and of fundamental importance. Whilst on the topic of interdisciplinary, it is opportune to underline that not only physicists greatly contributed to the development of nuclear medicine, this equally applied inter alia to engineer, chemist and radiopharmacist. But no doubt, physicists in this field have really contributed in a larger quantity. Now when we talk about responsibilities in nuclear medicine, the first is radiation protection, scientific integrity and accuracy of radionuclide counting and imaging system, which includes optimization and safety, quality control, safety and maintenance of nuclear medicine equipment, radiation dosimetry, clinical computing and networking, equipment procurement, acceptance and commissioning. They are a part of management. Whenever the new equipments are to be procured, then they carry out acceptance testing and they play a key role as and when the commissioning is to be done. Quality management, not only a quality assurance for the equipment but a quality audit, and for the system they play a very important role. Teaching and training as far as radiation safety is concerned, and whatever they know, they have a teaching and training program in the department. Research and development, many places it has been seen that apart from the routine work, the physicists are involved in carrying out research and development for new radiopharmaceutical and new techniques, etc. Now comes to the responsibility of nuclear medicine technologist. Here I am going to lay down only those responsibilities which are mentioned in our AERB safety code, that they have to ensure proper functioning of all nuclear medicine equipment, carry out periodic calibration, quality assurance checks and maintenance, ensure the radiopharmaceutical quantity requirements, the route of administration and the accuracy of dosage before giving it to a patient, and take precautions to avoid misadministration. They need to see that there should not be any spillage of radioactivity or contamination of the patient, premises, persons and materials by exercising due care while dispensing or while administrating the radioactivity. In case of unusual incidents or accident takes place, they have to report to RSO so that a proper action has to be taken and reporting is to be done to the competent authority. They need to assist the radiation safety officer in maintaining record of sources and radioactive waste. Now, who is nuclear medicine physicist? When we are talking about nuclear medicine technologist, is they have to do a lot of work or other work? Yes. In nuclear medicine physicist, if we talk and if you really Google the literature, they are the essential member of the multi-professional team responsible for the design and delivery of nuclear medicine diagnosis and treatment. They apply their knowledge which allow optimal diagnosis and treatment, taking into account the radiation protection of the patient and others. They play a key role in optimizing the dose received by the patient. Nuclear medicine physicists are responsible for ensuring that the equipment, systems and process used in nuclear medicine will produce the desired diagnosis. They must be able to recognize common artifacts. This is one of the most important roles, which technologists, if at all they fail to do, they should have a mere knowledge, if at all in the image some artifacts are coming, and how to really control, sort out the issue so that it should not be considered as a poor diagnosis or wrong diagnosis. They recognize and understand the sources of error in nuclear medicine studies and are responsible for validation of techniques used. They are involved in both patient-related activities and in the development, implementation, maintenance and quality control of the infrastructure, facilities, equipment and clinical computer system and process necessary for the provision of nuclear medicine. They have the ability to critically assess faults and assign tolerance, test frequencies and remedial action. It means if you go through, they are really doing a lot of work, and in our country too, a nuclear medicine technology designation has been given, but they are doing a work which is assigned or given in the literature for the work to be carried out by physicists. They are scientifically trained in the techniques for accurate measurement and numerical recording that underlie a proper quality control system for the equipment used in nuclear medicine. They take the final decision to use nuclear medicine equipment for clinical use after any repair. If you really see to it, as and when any major or minor repair takes place or there is a fault in the imaging system, once it has been rectified, they need to see to it before putting in the clinical use whether it is working perfectly fine or not. They provide advice on radiation safety of individual patients undergoing nuclear medicine. Particular emphasis is placed on minimizing the dose to organs at risk, particularly the fetus and the gonads of patient of reproductive capacity. It means they know how to calculate a dose, radiation dosimetry. They provide advice to ensure that any exposure of the patient relative is minimized, what are the precautions to be taken, so that the doses not only to the patient but exposure to the relatives can be minimized. They have to maintain the records of radionuclide used from receipt till disposal, so that activity, whatever has been received, whatever has been used, whatever has been discarded, they should be properly maintained. They have to advise during discharge of patient as and when they are treated for a high dose therapy that what are the precautions they need to take as and when they go home. But sometimes it so happens, unfortunate incident like a death of the patient, where the disposal of corpse again is the duty of nuclear physicist, who is playing a role as a radiation safety officer too. It means if you see, there are certain roles they are playing as an RSO also, apart from the role as a technologist or physicist. They carry out measurement, investigation, assessment in the event of radiation incident, the management of decontamination of persons or the workplace after spill or contamination with radioactive substances, the correct use of personal protective equipment by all the nuclear medicine staff. Again, if a physicist is trained and he knows about safety, even if they are not a radiation safety officer, they should know, they should tell to their staff how to use the personal protective equipment as far as radiation safety is concerned. The design of nuclear medicine treatment room, it has been seen if they are employed and working as a technologist or physicist, then as and when there is a modification to be carried out or advancement of the new equipment to come to the department, they know how to design the department. They have to undertake the appropriate risk assessment prior to the use of nuclear medicine equipment and appropriate emergency procedures and contingency plan in cooperation with the department management. The regular calibration, whatever equipment they are going to be used as far as monitoring is concerned, or personal protective equipments like pocket dosimeters, they should see to it that they should be calibrated periodically, and all equipments, all radiation monitoring instruments to be used in the departments are properly and regularly calibrated. If they know the radiation safety as I just now told about you, then it's a mere duty that they are supposed to train their staff to. As far as work practices are concerned, they need to develop and implement the safe work practices as and when the radiation sources are to be used, because the most important thing over here is to know the nuclear medicine are using unsealed sources, sealed sources for calibration purposes only. They need to provide appropriate personal radiation monitors to the staff, ELDs. They need to maintain radiation safety records. They have an auditing program on radiation practice to ensure the continued effectiveness. It has so happened that some of the radiopharmaceutical which are in use abroad, and if the nuclear medicine physicist wants to use in our country in their department, here nuclear medicine physicists play a very important role, because they have to produce certain data to their human research ethics committee of the institute to get a clearance to use this particular pharmaceutical in their department. They have to provide reports on radiation incidents to regulatory authorities, as I just informed, because when you're seeing this particular slides, you may say that this particular duties the technologist is also playing, but there are certain duty with nuclear medicine physicists has to play a more, which they are playing. In major hospital, if you go, they do a lot of important work apart from the duties which is assigned in the codes. They have to provide regular advice to the employer to ensure that facility meets its obligation under national legislation, that all the atomic energy radiation protection rule, waste disposal rules to be followed, and time to time, as when the national regulatory authority comes out with certain directives or certain rules, they have to follow, they have to implement in the department. They have to provide the reports on radiation incidents, as again it is repeated that because unusual incidents reporting mechanism is not being implemented as being done in most of the other countries. So we generally encourage that physicist needs to report any kind of unusual incident so that it would be a learning phase for others too, and further accidents can be avoided because of this unusual incidents. Being a radiation safety officer or a nuclear medicine physicist, they play a key role in the development, implementation and management of radiation safety and protection plan. That is, emergency procedures, radiation safety manual should be there, how to implement, and periodic drills they can do it, so that if such thing happens, then how to really react so that it can be minimized. They are responsible for the establishment and maintenance of all dosimetric standards, techniques and equipment. I am going to summarize whatever has been told in a few important subtopics. With regard to radiation dosimetry, they play specific roles like responsibility for the calibration of radionuclide dose calibrator, responsibility for regular quality control of dose calibrator, responsibility for in vivo dosimetry for patients having diagnostic nuclear medicine. They have the response for patient dose measurements and calculation of radionuclide therapy treatments. With regard to quality assurance program, they must provide a comprehensive quality control program for the nuclear medicine facility. They should ensure that effective planned preventive maintenance and repair arrangements are implemented. They are also responsible for ensuring that adequate quality control checks are carried out following any planned preventive maintenance, upgrade or repair work prior to the equipment being handed back for safe clinical use. Very important role as far as the QA is concerned right now, because regulatory authorities keep insisting about the NEMA protocols, about the new equipment, as and when they come for license, for commissioning permission. After 3 years, they need to submit again a QA reports. As far as therapy is concerned, we are talking about because diagnostics activity handling is little less, but during therapy it's more. They play a key important role in the development, implementation, delivery, verification and maintenance of radionuclide therapy techniques. They have to ensure that the accuracy of measured radioactivity, preparation of inpatient treatment facility for each patient as and when the patient needs hospitalization, when the activity to be administered is more than the prescribed limit. They have to ensure the safety of staff during administration of radiopharmaceutical. They ensure the removal of any radioactive contamination of the treatment facilities following the discharge of the patient. They measure the absorbed dose to the tumor and to the critical organs, because nowadays patient and the relatives have a good awareness about the radiopharmaceuticals. Somehow they would like to know, if at all you are giving a treatment to us, what are the likely doses received by my critical organs? Or a physician would like to know. In such cases, nuclear medicine physicist is very important. He should ensure that the patient, relatives and friends do not receive radiation doses in excess of the appropriate dose constraint. Sometimes it so happens when an old patient is there or when a child is there, when someone has to stay with them, then they need to see to it that the dose received by the relative should not be more than the prescribed limit by the competent authority or given by ICRP. This 5 millisievert. Now, equipment procurement, acceptance and commissioning, they are a part of management whenever the new installations are to be carried out, and they take the responsibility for radiation protection aspects of design such shielding requirement and safety measure to comply statutory regulation. As and when a new layout has to come to the department or to be sent to a regulatory authority, they need to see to it that how the shielding calculations are to be done before sending it, so that it should be minimum hassle for the facility or the regulator too. They are also responsible for acceptance, commissioning and calibration of nuclear medicine equipment. In addition, they have a lead role in the safe and effective implementation of new or modified equipment into clinical use. As far as acceptance criteria is concerned, they are responsible for acceptance testing of new or refurbished nuclear medicine equipment. It includes safety testing, stability testing, performance acceptance testing against national standards and against selection and supplier specification, establishing basic machine performance quality control baselines. They need to have a reference values so that as and when the periodic QA is carried out, they can compare that whatever the reference values are there, where the equipment is meeting those values or not. Apart from that, tolerance limits which is being assigned or given by regulatory authority. Accepting all modalities, functions, systems, option, accessories prior to clinical use. Again, a very important role which they are supposed to play, and they are playing too. Responsible to managing an appropriate quality control and preventive maintenance program for nuclear medicine equipment. Apart from the QA to be carried out during major repair or at a time of acceptance, they need to develop a periodic QA program for all the nuclear medicine imaging equipment so that it should function, because finally you are basically using this equipment for the patients. The QA is very important as far as nuclear medicine is concerned, because to avoid unnecessary dose to the patient and their relatives and their occupational workers too. They play a very important role, because I have seen that in most of the departments R&D is also being carried out, and they play a key and important role to contribute to the development of major changes in diagnostics and therapeutic techniques, and in conjunction with clinical colleague to patient-oriented research and health technology assessment. They play a pivotal role in translation of clinical research into routine clinical practices. Any radiopharmaceutical, any techniques, any QA program which have an importance to the clinical practice, R&D is very important. In many departments, especially those associated with teaching hospitals, medical physics staffs are involved in or responsible for major projects and academic research. They are involved in research and development essential for continuous improvement in the nuclear medicine services, leading to improved clinical outcomes. In conclusion, I must say health professionals in nuclear medicine are playing a very important role, whether it's a nuclear medicine physician or a technologist or an approved radiological safety officer. But I must say that nuclear medicine physicians play an important role because they are the backbone in the field. With this, a very important quote given by this favorite Ernest Lawrence: no individual is alone responsible for a single stepping stone along the path of progress, and where the path is smooth, progress is most rapid. It means every individual is very, very important and playing a role of health professional in nuclear medicine. Finally, to get rid of worry of radiation, I always show this slide. The best medicine is stick to radiation protection rule prescribed by National Regulatory Authority. Thank you very much.